Hello, Alphas. Welcome back to the Alpha Woman Success Academy. Tanya Stewart here, Alpha Woman Success Coach, and we are here with Michelle Pippin. Now, off camera, I ask everybody, what's your title? Like, how should I introduce you? Because honestly, the women I'm talking to are such high caliber. They've got like 9 hats, and I need to know which hat to use. So I'm like, are you a coach? Are you a strategist? Are you a founder? What are you? I ask her, and she looks at me, and she's like, I'm just a woman who has fallen in love with being an entrepreneur. That is so amazing. It completely underscores that she is running womenwhowow.com, which is one of the world's largest organizations for women business owners. They've got members in 50 states. They've got members in 8 countries. She has been on Good Morning America, Forbes, entrepreneur.com. So yeah, she's got the alphabet soup, but what a humble introduction. Thank you. Hi, Michelle.
Hey there. Yeah, it's humble, but it's true, right? And I'm nothing if not humble and from humble roots. And I love that, because if I can do what I'm doing, like literally anyone can do whatever they want to do, right? Like it's so I appreciate being here. And at my core, I'm just a woman who fell in love with being an entrepreneur by accident, of course, but fell in love with it and have been running with it ever since.
Oh, wait, okay, so we can't let that ride. What do you mean by accident? What happened there? A lot of us were very intentional about this. What were you doing and you got sucked into making ginormous piles of money?
Yeah, so I was first making babies, and my oldest is 18, and and this is no judgment on what anybody decides to do, but daycare was just not going to be a path for my kids, and I didn't go to daycare. My mom was home with me, and there was this like money piece to that, because I married a public school teacher who I am passionately still in love with today. He's my everything. He's still like rocks my world, but he doesn't get paid for being how amazing he is. And so he's a public school teacher to this day. And when I started looking for like, how am I going to actually like keep the roof over our heads and not do daycare, and I didn't have like family who could watch the kids or anything like that, I just remember thinking, I'll just somehow make money from home. And this was 18 years ago. So this is where like there were rumors of people who made money from home, but you didn't know where they were or who they were. And so my first year in business, I just literally, like if it was legal or like almost legal, I did it from home. And that's how I made my living. And I had replaced my income and then some. For the first year I did work I didn't really love. And I say I accidentally got sucked in because I never read a business book in that first year. You know, why would I? Like, I didn't think I was starting a business. I was just somehow making money from home, right? And I'm so glad I didn't, because I later read those business books and they said things like odd stuff, like how it takes a lot of money to start a business. And I had invested $50 of the $213 that I had in savings. So like, I'm glad I didn't know.
You're killing it. You're killing it. This is okay. So what she said, it's not like you said a cliche. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. But clearly she was not saying a cliche. She started with $50.
$50. And I like reasoned with it. Like, how much of this $213 can I, invest in this, like this idea I had? And it's so funny because I live in an area still, they do not offer a business license. Like, it's difficult for me to get like a checking account for my business. And so they didn't offer a business license. I had no idea I was in business. And then when I started reading about, well, maybe I'll start a business after my first year, and I made $63,000. And after that, I started thinking, well, Dad, maybe I should go into business, right?
Wait, stop. Oh, I'm interrupting you. I'm watching like the alphas sitting at the kitchen table, and we just heard you correctly. You started with $50.
Yep.
You didn't read anything, didn't educate anything, didn't sign up for anything, and made $63,000 in the middle of effing nowhere.
Yes. And I did. So I literally, it was my Anything for Money tour. I named it after the fact, right? But Anything for Money. And I did things like I wrote resumes for people. I typed up domestic custody agreements. I actually typed up water reports for U.S. embassies overseas. Like literally, I did anything for money. And I didn't have sitters. So like I did it when my kid napped, and then the next kid and the next kid. And yeah, so just by accident. And eventually I realized, like, I've been in business all along. I'm just really glad I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to make money for 3 years, and that it cost a bunch of money up front, and that all these businesses failed. Like, thank God I didn't know anything then. And so I could just like cobble together an income. And by the way, like when I started reading about business, I was like, oh my gosh, one day when I make it big, I'm going to be like the person talking about business, right? Like I'm going to be that person. Oh. But if you remember, you go backwards 16 years, right? And all of the business gurus, I think they must have been living in the same house on the beach in Malibu or whatever. They all had the same picture, right? And like they rented their fancy cars. And so I'm thinking, well, when I get that rich, then I'm doing like whatever I was doing then, I'll do this. And so I always had this in me because I wanted to simplify like the idea of making money, right? That's all I wanted to do. Because here's what I know is that one of the quickest ways to change someone's life is to change the way they make a living. We spend a lot of time making a living. So that's what I set out to do.
I got nothing. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Holy cow. So this is making sense, you guys. Her website is womenwhowow.com. Anybody seeing a connection here? Women who wow. That actually made me go wow. So I'm excited. So I would like you very much to talk with us a little bit today about the women out here who are watching, who are searching for their mission or their purpose. Or they're trying to get somewhere. They maybe don't even know exactly where it is, but they're trying to get there.
Okay. So I just really don't believe in like finding your purpose or finding yourself, right? Like I feel like every day I wake up and create myself afresh. I create it new. And so I think for anyone saying like, I just don't know what my purpose is. I mean, I don't know everyone watching this webinar, right? But like, I do feel like I can say with some authority that it's probably you just haven't admitted your purpose to yourself yet. It's like, just like me, when I learned like about there's business coaches, they didn't call them that I don't think 16 years ago, but I was like, well, one day I'll be like one of those. But I just thought it was so far off, and I really didn't want to admit that that's what I was looking for, because I thought I needed the mansion on a beach in Malibu in order to like make this happen for myself. And so and not live where I live, right? Where rural America, where I look out and I'm not on an ocean, but I'm on an ocean of farmland, and it is so beautiful. And like no one comes by without an invitation. This is the way I want to live, right? And so to you, if you're listening to this, I would say you probably do know it's that hidden spot that maybe you don't want to admit yet, because if you face it, then it's like, all right, girl, now what, right? Now that you've stared in the face, are you gonna ignore it? Are you gonna push it down? Or are you gonna look it in the eye and say, okay, take my beer, right? Like, let me go for this. And so I think that's what I would say to anyone who thinks they don't know what they want to do, is they're maybe thinking it's not possible for them. And I beg to differ, right?
I'm so glad you said that. Mind you guys, these are unsolicited. I don't prep my experts. I'm just having an organic conversation with them. But that is brilliant. That difference between creating and finding is passive. And truthfully, we're alphas. We're not passive anyway. So throw that crap out the window. You're not going to trip over it. What she's saying is you're either going to create that puppy, or you're going to own the fact that you already know what it is. And she said something, it was really tiny, and I want to blow it up because it's important. What she said was brilliant. You probably just don't know how to get there. And what I teach is you're confusing the what with the how.
That's right.
Just separate it out and get clear on the how, the what first, and then you can get the how.
That's right.
Brilliant, Michelle. I'm so glad that you said that. Okay, so I'm sitting here and I've got your big brain available to me. So what would I like to know? What is one of the biggest things that you see, biggest struggles that you see facing women business owners? I mean, you got a whole big, ginormous enclave of them. What are the kind of things that you see us struggling with, and what could you give us advice to help us?
Yeah, so I think that what I see most people struggling with most often are what I call the shoulds of business. They're shoulding all over themselves, and it's all these things that they should be doing, and they are telling us what we should be doing, right? Like learning webinars or using live video, and like I use live video. I don't use webinars, but there's when you think about the rules of business, like one thing that I really want to shout from the rooftops all the time is like the rules lead to an 80% failure rate in business, right? If that doesn't grab you by your soul, enough to incite that rebellious spirit in you, like, I don't know what will. To me, it's like, as soon as they're saying like, it can't be done this way or it has to be done this way, I'm thinking, whoo, be wary of the theys, right? Because everyone following those rules, 80% of them are failing. And I'm convinced that the 20% are not following those rules. They're like, I'm just going to do what comes naturally to me. So I feel like a lot of the struggle, and it's not just struggle with money, although that's definitely an outcome of following all the should stuff, but it's also a struggle with time and balance and living according to your own priorities and shutting off your family for your business. I can assure you, and I make no apologies for this, I do lead Women Who Wow. We do have members in all 50 states and 8 countries. I also have a private consulting firm that I use literally a handful of clients. And my family, my mister, and then my kids, they're coming first, unapologetically, right? I'm not shutting them off to pander to clients. And I see a lot of women who feel like if they feel like they have to do it now, right, in order to build the business that they want. And my thought is good Lord, a business is like a kid, right? Like if you're going to raise them to need you all the time, when they're 35, they're going to need your tail all the time. It's like if you feed the fox, right, out at the mountain house. If you feed that fox, there's a sign, don't feed the fox. Why? That fox will forget how to hunt. And you don't want to twist things around in your business to where you are not only an employee, but almost ankle chained to this sucker. You're at the helm, and we need to ignore the shoulds, really show up in our own power, which means not looking at what Tanya's doing, not looking at what Michelle's doing, but what's really bubbling up in your soul. What can you not say anymore? What can you not hold back anymore? Because when you show up like that, then all of a sudden you make the rules. You can set your pricing, because guess what? They can't get Tanya anywhere else but going through Tanya. They can't get Michelle anywhere else but going through Michelle. And so at that point, I can charge what I want. I show up all the time, messaging, preaching almost, right? And letting people know what's possible for them. And the game starts to change when I ignore all the rules and just show up in a way that I can't not show up anymore. And so I would just put it out there like that so that people understand that all of the shoulds can be completely ignored, and they probably should be.
Okay, I got a monitor high five on that one because oh my God, too much good stuff. Okay, what zoomed for me? I heard Michelle give you permission to say what you can't hold in anymore, which is that is such a fantastic way. What is it that you can't no longer not say? What is bubbling up in you? That is, all of us alphas are so deeply and passionately wired, and we are taught to be small and squish and sit over here because we're too big and we're too this and we're too that and we're scaring people. And what she's saying is you can unleash that, keep your family where your family should be. This is the other brilliant thing I heard you say, and I've never heard somebody say this, so I want to repeat it because it's super important, and I'm taking it to heart. She's saying that your business is raised like a child. If you give in to a child's tantrums just this one time when they're little, they become rotten human beings.
That's right.
Give in to your business's tantrums and you set it up just for now, just for these 3 years, this shit's never going to change.
Never. It's going to get worse, actually. It's going to get worse, right? I will decisively deal with the 2-year-old's tantrum all day long so that I do not have to deal with a 21-year-old's tantrum, right? They're smaller and more controllable. And so, for me, I feel like the that making sure that you're raising your business in the way it should go, right? Like you're in the beginning. And that includes, by the way, not just like the business bullying you or clients bullying you, but it also includes the flow of money, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's a saying that you got to spend money to make money. Yeah. And I think, well, dang, if you can't make money without money, you're going to have a hard time making money with money, right? Like you got to learn how to sell. That's how you make money, right? You learn how to sell. And you know what teaches you how to sell? Having no money. I know that firsthand.
You're right. You're right.
Right? You get hungry enough, you learn how to sell.
A hungry person can sell their ass off.
That's right. I am living proof, right? Like when I decided to become a coach, right? I was running an HR firm at the time, and I, hated the work. I love the selling and marketing of the work. I hated the work. And so, in my wisdom at 23, 24, I just fired all my HR clients and said, good luck to you. I hope you find someone to help. And because I'm going in this new direction. Now, nowadays, I'm like, I could have turned them into marketing clients. I could have done any number of things, but I knew that I had danced around long enough with this idea of business coaching for way too long. And if I didn't put my financial back against the wall and cut off all forms of income to my home, I wouldn't figure it out. I'd be like every other coach making $5,000 a year or some crap. And so I was like, no, I'm firing everybody because I know that when my back's against the wall, like I ain't losing this roof over my head. I'm not letting my power get cut off. I'm not doing any of that, right? Like I'm going to get this stuff sold. And so, you don't want to put the flow of money into your business because the role of your business is to produce money. And we get that really whacked out sometimes. And we feel like the flow of money should go into our business. Until when? At what point is your business going to rise up and be like, hey, we got enough now. Let me give you money. Never, right? You gotta stop the flow. The flow has to be coming from your business to you. Otherwise, it's just a money pit. It's not really a business.
I'm drinking the Michelle Kool-Aid hard because I'm loving the way you're describing this. I really feel like it's hitting home for people who are watching this. Again, it's like that child thing. It's like, well, wait a second. I have a phrase, begin as you mean to end. So right. It completely fits that way. It's like, well, if I want the business to be generating income, then I got to be really careful about any mindset that says I'm going to pump water into the well for however long. And then magically one day the genie's going to come out of the well and say, congratulations, after 10 years, I'm now rewarding you with a bucket.
That's right.
My gosh, that is absolutely fantastic. I really, really I appreciate it. I think the alphas watching are probably a little startled because you're telling them things that it's counterintuitive because it's against what the masses have told them.
Which means it's always right? If you don't know what to do, like just look at what everybody else is doing and like, don't do that. That's the best option.
My mentor, Dan Kennedy, has told me that. I promise you.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to the Info Summit?
I'm not going to the Info Summit. But Sela, are you going?
Well, I'm thinking about, I talked to AJ this past week, and he's thinking about having like a little Women Who Wow sort of dinner. So I'm not sure. I don't know.
If you did that, then you actually get your butt over there, baby.
Sure.
For those of us who don't know, see, this is High Level Woman Masterminding live time. She's talking about GKIC. It's Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle. It's one of the world's largest small business marketing organizations. I used to be a teacher for them. I used to be an IBA in Georgia.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's so I love it. And Dan Kennedy said, look at everybody. If everybody going that way, they all tend to fail and end up miserable and unhappy and broke. Go the other way.
That's right. He got that from Earl Nightingale.
Yes.
And,
yes.
It's funny because I've been at Dan Kennedy. Yeah, I've been a Dan Kennedy girl for, I don't know, like 18 years or something. And when I found him, I'm in love, right? He is my man. And I don't know if you get the newsletter or whatever, but a few months ago, he wrote about, and they did a 2-page feature on Women Who Wow in the newsletter.
I'm admitting it. I haven't been reading my newsletter. Now I got to crack the damn thing back open. Okay.
April is when they did this about Women Who Wow. But a few months before that, Dan had said, because I'm friends with one of Dan's really close friends, and I was telling her about, how when the newsletter comes into my house, like my husband kind of jokes and he'll tell the kids, he's like, yeah, your mom's boyfriend arrived today, because he knows that like I go in and I'm like, and Dan wrote about that, and I was telling my parents like, oh my God, he's writing about me. Because my husband jokes about it. But yeah, so like all of your people should go to GKIC and don't be offended. Like if you're not offended by this conversation, you're gonna love Dan.
Yeah, they don't pull punches. I was the one. I guess I was featured back in maybe 2010 or 2011. I was still running my law firm then, and it was my aggressive, outrageous advertising, because I ran an ad called "Do you know someone who needs to go to jail for Christmas?"
Awesome.
That was that ad pulled like nobody's business.
I bet it did.
Put him in jail over child support for Christmas. That was
you don't have to worry about the visit.
No, you have to worry. We're not gonna arrange any visits. His ass will be in jail. It's fine. He doesn't want to pay. I'm good.
That's right.
This is the permission. What she's talking about is that feeling. Before on camera we were talking about, and people say, well, and I'll ask you the question. So people tell us we're going to burn out. You're doing too much. You're everywhere. Stop it. Slow down. You're going to burn out. And what do you say to that?
I think it's just BS, right? Like, so for instance, you're going to burn out if you're doing all the wrong things that drain you, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I wake up and I do things that I can't not do, right? I wake up every morning. I'm a creature of habit. It's like Bible and journal and then my messaging, which is the core of my business, right? I have something called Entrepreneurial Espresso, which goes to my members every morning, served up hot and fresh, the way I like my espresso. And then I have my blog that goes out in various places and then eventually up actually onto the blog. And that's like the things that they fuel me. And so I'm not looking for a vacation, right? Like I'm not looking for time off. When I do take a vacation, the truth is, it's like, even if I'm not showing up messaging, I'm still like writing. I'm a journal girl. Like I'm still like feeding my soul in the exact same way that I do every day. And so for me, when I burn out, when I start getting anxious or whatever, it's because I have not been doing the work that I want to do. Right. And so when I don't have a big line between like work and life and passion and hobby and all this stuff. It's just me. And I get to show up every single day and just be me. And like miraculously, I make money at it.
There's a woman, her name, Christy Marie Sheldon. Very, very successful energy clearing and hero person. And she has an affirmation. It's called, I get paid for being me.
Oh, wow.
I get paid for being me. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, I get paid for being me. If you're listening to this, I want you to look at this woman. She is, first of all, you're glowing and gorgeous. Doesn't look like you can have children. Is old. She's probably lying about her children's ages, but we'll let that ride. She's glowing because she's doing what she loves. You've heard that statement that when you do what you love, the money follows. That's not bullshit when you've constructed it the right way. You're not listening to all of the naysayers and not shooting all over yourself. She's doing what she loves. She's telling you that it feeds her. So if what you're doing, so what is it right now? So we got a lot of women who are watching. They're like, that's great for you two, but mine's not feeding me. What do they need to do if they just suddenly are like, I want to look like one of them? What do I do?
Yeah. So, you sell something. That's one thing to do, right? And I'll never forget a friend of mine, actually, before we became really close friends, she's local to me. And she said, hey, can we meet for lunch? And I said, sure. And so we get there and she says, I've been wanting to talk with you about something. She was an interior, she was a professional organizer. She had a great blog. And she said, really like to monetize my website. She had a lot of traffic. She was on the local news every week. And I said, and she's like, do you have any ideas how I could do that? And I said, well, you could sell something, right? That's one way to monetize. I don't know another way, but that's at least one way. And so if you are, showing up and you are showing up daily, right? So you think about how you like your coffee, okay? For me, daily, unfiltered, strong. And so if you're doing all of that, right, if you're showing up daily, because if you want to make money being you, you've got to be a leader worth following, right? You've got to be a leader that is operating in a competitive vacuum, and you're showing up as something that people can't get elsewhere, right? With your own analogies and your own stuff. Like, I'm this Southern girl. I actually prefer to live here in this simple little town. And it takes like 8 minutes to get $400 out of the bank because they got to like go upstairs and print off the receipt or whatever, right? I love it. This is my gig. And so it's like I get irritated by that stuff, but I'm like, this is what I choose. This is what I love. And so showing up daily is a thing that you cannot be too busy to show up and preach from your podium daily. Unfiltered. You can't be editing it down. Like today, I got like my third little thing of the week saying that my stuff is too masculine. And here I am leading a women's entrepreneur like tribe. And I get accused of being too masculine all the time because I chose a black background, or I used all caps, or blah, 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 right? Or I used the word whatever. Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't edit myself, because if I start to like conform, I'm going to look like everybody else not making money online. And I got to show up daily. I got to show up unfiltered. I got to show up strong. And if you're doing all of that, then you got to ask yourself, like, am I making the ask? Am I selling to people? Am I inviting people to work with me? Because when I see people who are doing that, and you think of like the blogger world, right? And they're blogging every day and they're getting traffic, and they might have like something on the side where maybe if somebody clicks there, they get like a half a penny or whatever, right? And it's like, but they're never making an ask. They're never inviting people in for a closer, more professional relationship, which is what selling is. They're never inviting people, say like, I can help you. Like, will you let me help you with that? And so most people, if you're showing up daily, unfiltered and strong, and you're still not making money, it's because you ain't selling nothing, right? Like, let's just put it out there. You know, you need to be asking people. People will say no. People will ignore you. People will get pissed off at you for like having the audacity to like sell them something. Who cares? Like, keep inviting people. And I tell people that, and this is something that my coach shared with me. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know, if you're in the desert and you run, and you're in the desert, Tanya, mm-hmm. and like I'm walking in and you're like dying of thirst, and I have water. Mm-hmm. I am not going to think about if I'm too fat to offer you water, or if you're going to think that I'm pushy. Like, if you can't lift your head, I'm going to like push your neck up. I'm going to pour the water down your throat, right? Because it's the only kind thing to do. And all of us are like this. We have something that people need that can simplify their lives, or help them pay their bills, or help them put their kids through college, or whatever it is. Whatever you do, there's a problem that you solve. And so I train women who out to look at it as selfish and greedy. Yes. To not invite people to work with you, right? And so that's it. Daily, unfiltered, strong, and then make the ask. That is really it, right? You got to have something to sell. You got to make the ask. Daily, unfiltered, strong. And, you know, save your $2,000 on whatever course. Like, that's the course. That's it. And you're good.
You are unfiltered strong. And you know what? I will tell you, because I teach about masculine and feminine energy. You are talking to women in their business world. You are absolutely in your lane to be in the masculine energy. You are
not unapologetically, right? And I'm thinking, you know, I posted about it today, and I said, listen, if you think I'm masculine because I'm too strong or too driven or too unfiltered, or, you know, too direct or whatever, I said, you got the wrong definition of feminine, right? Like, you need to adjust, because this is who we are, and more.
You gave them an awesome masculine answer. I like it. Right. Wait, let me tell you what, you're wrong. But they're in the wrong lane. Yeah. Your tribe is not coming to you saying, please fix my failing marriage.
That's right.
They're saying, I can't pay a mortgage. They're saying, in fact, one of the reasons I was a divorce lawyer for over 15 years, one of the biggest stressors on a marriage is money. One of the biggest stressors on a marriage is money. So Michelle is helping save marriages. We got women out here that can make money, stay home with their babies if they want, travel if they want, you know, and be unfiltered and strong and daily like a great cup of coffee, and ask. That is such simple advice. I really want you guys to not underestimate the power of her advice. I know that years back, that was the thing for me. It's like, oh my gosh, I wasn't asking. You know, you've heard about Laurel Langmeyer, and her big thing is you should be asking for money daily.
Sure.
You should be asking for money daily. It's like I went through a little test with myself. I'm like, did I ask for money somewhere today? And I was like, I was shocked at the big, giant, gaping periods I would go where I didn't ask. So you are brilliant. So now I will ask you, what is it that you are giving to my alphas that want to have more of your brand, a hot cup of coffee?
Yes. So I tell you what, I am about 80% done with my new book called Without Compromise, The Women Who Wow Manifesto. And I want to give that to all of the people who are listening in. If you just go to womenwhowwow.com/friend, then you'll be able to get that. And I also want to throw in 30 days of entrepreneurial espresso, right? So 30 days of entrepreneurial espresso, hot, fresh every single morning, just to kind of get your mind sort of just the same way our coffee does in the morning, get our minds refocused on what we're doing, what we're up to, and what the possibilities are. And not just the possibilities, because I am all about like the possibilities and potential and all of that. But we will never get there if we don't also embrace the responsibility, right? Like it's up to us. Nobody's coming to make this happen for us.
There's
right?
the rescue coming. You are the rescue.
That's right. No white knight. You might as well just hang it up, going out there and create it for yourself, because that's exactly what you're born to do. That's why that's why you're listening to this right now. That's why you're connected to Tanya. It's like, you know that there's something in there that's like amazing and that's world class and that's going to change lives. And you know the possibility and the potential. Mm-hmm. And you need to then say, okay, it's my responsibility. Like it's actually something just like a kid that you have. Like you have this kid and like you're sort of responsible for it, right? Mm-hmm. You got to somehow get that kid like through high school, college, and adulthood. Mm-hmm. And the same thing for whatever is bubbling up in you. You're responsible for it. It's yours for a reason. Let's just bring it to life. Daily, unfiltered, strong, make the ask.
Oh my God, you are brilliant. womenwhowow.com/friend. I want you to pop over there. Truthfully, she could have said she put pictures of shoes there. I wouldn't care. I would have to just go see what pictures of shoes Michelle thought was awesome, but she didn't. She's putting something there and she's looping us into her little herd so we can see what the world looks like from the perspective of women who wow. I want to know what a woman who started with $50 bootstrapped that into $63,000 in the first year, and now all these years later has a global really organization that's reaching out to us alphas, women business owners, and it's telling us to be who we are instead of telling us to be less than what we are.
And just a quick note, if you came to look for shoes on my site, you'd be very disappointed. I had a member who put this meme up that said, I make deals in heels. And so I wrote back and I said, I make loot barefoot. I can hear you say it right now. So I'm barefoot now, and I'm barefoot most of the day. I will wear shoes begrudgingly when I'm paid to speak somewhere, but I don't like it, right?
I'm just speechless. That is I make loot barefoot.
That's how you have to say it.
You are unfiltered. You are strong. You are showing up daily. Women who wow /friend. Go there. Get more of this amazing woman. Helping you with your mission, helping you with your money, helping you with your mindset, helping you with your masculine. There's a lot of women on the academy right now that are helping you with your feminine, but screw that. We also need some help with our masculine.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
This is awesome. Okay, alphas, we'll see you next time on the Alpha Woman Success Academy, and we're going to help you make some loot barefoot.
That's right.
I love that. Bye.